Is your radio waterproof? This week on Kayak Hacks. Before I really knew what to look for, I spent a fortune on little handheld radios because I was not aware that there were different flavors of waterproof that would impact the utility of that radio either on a kayak or up in the mountains hunting for trout. Here's what you need to understand about standards. That way you can pick the right radio for your application, because waterproof isn't really waterproof.
The first thing to realize is that there are two standards that both measure how waterproof something is: GMRS and IP. Let's look at each and what level you need to pick to get a truly waterproof. In terms of the GMRS standard, you really need to buy something that's GMRS 7 or 8 as a minimum. When you look at the other ones, 0 through 6, all it does is protect temporarily from water spraying at different levels of force against the actual radio. It's not until you get to GMRS 7 that water is prevented from entering the radio mechanism and is actually waterproof the way we would think about it. So, GMRS, look for 7 or 8. The IP standard actually measures two different things. The first number is about dust penetration. The second is about water penetration. And since if dust can get in, water can get in, what we need to look at is that second number. Just like with the GMRS standard, the IP standard has 9 different levels of water protection. Many of the radios you see advertised on Amazon or available elsewhere are merely at level 4 that will protect against water splashing, not against immersion. For those, you need to move to the next level. As you can see here, it's not until you get to IP7 that the radio will withstand immersion. So think about that radio sitting in a pool of water in the bottom of your kayak. It had better be IP7 compatible, because that will keep the water out up to 1 meter deep. Now that you understand the standards, let's look at a few examples. This screenshot here came out of Amazon, and this first radio cost $67 on the day I looked at it, but look at the rating. It's IP51. So it'll keep some dust out, but it basically won't keep any water out at all. You can have some drips on it, but it's going to penetrate and it's going to die quickly. Interesting, this next example is actually cheaper, but it's better. It's GMRS 4 rated, but when you look at the details under that standard, it basically just protects it against some light rain. So again, if you fall in a pool of water or it ends up in a pool at the bottom of your kayak, this thing is toast. While you don't need to get what I used, here's what I looked at when I bought my radio. This thing is IP67 rated. In other words, none of the dust is going to get in there, and obviously none of the water is. The IP7, the second number, says that it can withstand immersion down to 1 meter. And I'll tell you from personal experience, this thing has sat in a pool of water in the bottom of my kayak, and it still works. And here's the interesting thing. This model only costs $70, $3 more expensive than that first radio I showed you that would only protect against drips. So you can't go by price. You really need to look into the technical details.
Comments? Take care.